Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Ginger Show. We're so excited to have you here today, and I have an exciting guest for you all, Barb Moylan. Hi, Barb.
Hello.
This is going to be fun. Barb she owns a company called BAM Fit for Life, and she focuses on fitness, nutrition, and she's also a gut health coach. I actually attended one of your seminars or lunch and learns. I'm not sure what you call them, but I was invited to this presentation that you did, and it was awesome. So I had to have you on the show. So thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
So I learned so much, when you did that presentation. So I'm excited to share your knowledge with my viewers. And I'm just going to tell people a little bit about you. So Barb has been in the fitness industry for 32 years. She has a degree in exercise and sports sciences. She is a certified nutrition coach and a gut health specialist. She has taught every group fitness class under the sun, done one-on-one training and group wellness workshops on fitness nutrition. And she was with the Orangetheory brand, that's right, for 12 years and is now focusing on nutrition coaching and building the Just Lift brand. Her passion is coaching and educating clients to be their best version of themselves through movement, proper nutrition, and mindset. That's quite the bio.
There it is.
So this is, I think a big topic that's, really a lot of people are focused on now because we all know that gut health, or at least we're all hearing that gut health is so important. And I've had, my doctors on the show that have talked about the importance of gut health for different diseases. But what I love about what you're doing is you're actually combining it with your fitness goals. And I think a lot of people don't understand that that's a big part, or maybe I'm wrong and people do understand it. Maybe you can tell us what your thoughts are on that. But my understanding is that people don't necessarily connect the gut with going to the gym.
Yes. And like you said, there are some people that get it and a vast majority don't. I decided to dig more into fitness, nutrition, and then gut health because I felt that it was the missing piece to the puzzle. And when I was creating BAM Fit for Life, I wanted to expand what I taught, what I coached. My entire fitness career has been about movement and about exercise and, just moving the body. But I wanted to go deeper and cover nutrition and recovery and mindset. And nutrition is such a big part of your results. And there is a disconnect in my experience with getting results, even better results with the food that you're consuming and fueling your body with. And, a lot of, a lot of the clients that I have coached, and, it's an on-running joke of, out training a bad diet. And really, what we put in should take top-notch priority because it is fuel. I learned at a very young age that food is fuel and food is medicine. And by not putting a spotlight on that and not making it a priority, that we're kind of spinning our wheels and chasing fitness results that are harder to get if we're not focusing on the quality of the food that we're consuming. And so I went after my nutrition education so that I was better prepared to be able to coach people differently in that arena.
Yeah, I think, this is, like you said, it was like the missing kind of link. I've heard people say I'm, working out, for dinner. And I think that they can just eat however they want to eat. And if they work out, they like have muscles to show for it.
They break even.
Right.
They're breaking even.
Right. And I mean, they may even look good on the outside, but I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I mean, you're going more deeper than what you look out on the outside. You're looking at whole body health and, what your body, what's going on the inside, right? And that's where the gut health kind of, comes in.
Yes. And everyone is, as you know, very bio-individual, right? And, a lot of times in fitness, people are going after the aesthetic, the outside look. And, I have had people say to me, well, what do you do? What do you do to look like that? And my answer is very honest. And my answer is, it doesn't matter what I'm doing because I am different than you. And we've got to find out what you need, what your body needs. And I use this analogy in the workshop that I did with you is, if somebody came and gifted you a Ferrari or a Lamborghini or a very high performance car of your dreams, what kind of fuel would you put in it? Would you put in regular, unleaded?
No, top-notch fuel.
Top-notch fuel, right? So that performance sports car could drive and perform at its best. And our bodies are the same. And so if we're putting in subpar or junk, unfortunately, there's a lot of junk out there. And if we're bringing that in and then expecting our bodies to perform at their best level or at the optimal level, that's where the disconnect is. And whatever we put in shows up on the outside. And so that's what I like to help coach people through is, let's look at what you're consuming. And a lot of times I'm asked, well, do you write out a nutrition plan or diet? And the answer is no. And the reason is not because I'm not a registered dietitian and, that's out of my wheelhouse, but my reasoning is that I want to teach you. I want to take what you're doing well and let's keep it. But let's look at maybe what you're not doing well and let me educate you on the value of food and how we can make better choices so that when you do put all that energy and that time and that effort into those workouts hit different. They show up different. And to me, that's the greatest result you could get.
And I love that. I love that you said everybody's different because, I look at you obviously, and yes, you obviously are in very great shape.
Thank you.
And so, of course I would love to look like that, but, I have a different body type and all of those things. So even if I did everything that you're doing, I'd probably look a little bit differently. So everybody's not going to look the same. And the other thing, and that I love is that what you shared about how you work with people, you don't tell them what to eat. You basically look at what they're eating and kind of, work with it, because I remember very vividly in your presentation sharing with us that you eat a bagel every day.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my God, I love this girl. She eats bagels every day and look at her, right? Yes. So, I think there's this, misinformation that you have to eat a certain way and you can't have carbs, and you can't have this. And I think you're here to say, you know what? Everybody's different and whatever works for you may not work for somebody else. And you're going to, curtail their specific, plan for the individual and their lifestyle and what they eat. I'm sure you get vegans, you get people that eat meat, you get every type of people. So that's really, really cool. And I just recently saw a testimonial post on social media of a gal that's been working with you for a while. And, I wouldn't say she was really terribly out of shape. I mean, the results, from where she started with you, and then she showed like, I don't know if it's 3 or 6 months later, or maybe a year later, to where she is now. I mean, she looks like a different person, Barb. I mean, she glows. It's not just her body looks great. Yeah. Like I said, I didn't think her body was that bad to begin with.
Right.
But I think that, she just really wanted to get in this much better shape. And you could just tell her whole demeanor, not just her body, but in her face.
Her smile.
Right?
It's different.
Everything. Yeah. I was so impressed with that. So let's get into some of these questions to give people some information. So why did you decide to add or dig deeper into nutrition coaching aspect of fitness? Like, what was your why?
My why was that missing piece, that puzzle piece. And, for me, being in group fitness, and, I have coached thousands of people, and to watch people that are working out 3, 4, 5, sometimes 6 times a week, and they're getting faster, they're getting stronger, any type of movement, especially if you're coming from being more sedentary, you're going to get a result, right? But then the results start to slow, and their bodies weren't changing. And I knew in my heart what it was. And I knew that it was more than just movement. And it was the nutrition. And I have my whole life, I shared this with you, my mom was really into food, and she was able to navigate through menopause by changing her diet. She, in her 50s, in her 60s and 70s, she was able to not be on medications because of the food choices that she made. And then she made different food choices for a couple years. And I watched her get on blood pressure medication, get on cholesterol medication. And it was all because of her diet changed. And the light bulb went off. And between what I do with coaching and then watching from a personal aspect, what the change in my mother and her health, I just wanted to do more and be available to people, to coach them, guide them, and help them navigate through the nutrition and honestly the diet industry, because it is so confusing. And every either year, 5 years, 10 years, there's a new diet out. There's another way to lose weight, or another pill to take. And I wanted to create something that was sustainable, that was for longevity, that is real food, not restrictive, and just educate and coach, because that's who I am. That's what I do. So that was my why. And I love helping people. And I feel that I do a great job, at Just Lift, teaching people how to lift and motivating them. And I wanted more. I wanted to be able to help people navigate through the food part, because it's hard. It is a hard piece of the puzzle, but so
you really have important. You have to know what you're doing, which is why you got the continuing education, the additional education in nutrition and gut health, because, you could definitely deprive yourself of the wrong things and do things the wrong way. And, talking about what you were saying about how when you did the training and the classes and stuff and seeing people not change, I see that all the time. And I've seen this lady for the last 2 years. I go to the beach every weekend with my husband, and she seems like the sweetest little old lady. And she walks the beach, and you can just tell she's like, she is walking for a purpose, like she's walking in shape. Okay.
Right.
2 years, Barb, I can tell you, she has not lost an ounce. And my heart goes out to her because I'm like, I can tell she really is trying
Doing the work.
Right. She's doing the
Doing
work.
that work.
I see her every time,
Yeah.
So you're so right. I think, that's where some people, I guess, don't understand that there's a missing piece. They don't understand. And so, yeah, through your coaching, you can help. So I guess that would, lead into my next question. So when someone hires you as a nutrition coach, what is their main reason for doing so?
They're frustrated. They're confused. They're frustrated. They want the change, and they're doing the workouts, but they know, or they figure out that's not enough.
They're not getting the results.
They're not getting the result they're looking for.
Yeah.
And so then, they reach out for nutrition coaching. And I ask, I make sure, I do a full consultation, free, because I want to make sure I'm the right fit for them. And also they're the right fit for me. And I have had to turn people away because they want to lose 20 pounds in 2 months. And that's not what I do. It's not a quick
I gotta lose weight for the wedding.
Yeah, exactly. That's not what I do.
Okay.
But they're frustrated. They want the results. They're going to the internet. They're watching social media, and they don't know what diet they should do. And it's very, very confusing for them. And they want accountability, and they want someone to help them learn consistency. And so, the big thing is the results. They want the effort that they're putting into their workouts to start showing up. And I explained that, until we start taking a look at the foods that you're consuming and make those changes, the results are probably going to just sit and not show up. So, yeah. And the other thing too is that, back to building this business, is I wanted to be a trusted resource as well, and be able to navigate through the information and give you the best information that I have gathered, not only for myself, that I've learned, but that I've learned from others. So, that would be the main reason for them reaching out for a nutrition coaches. They want the results. They want to know, how can I do this? How can I do it safely? How can I do it to where it's sustainable? Making it sustainable, and to where they don't have to completely do an overhaul of life. We still have to live life. There's still going to be weddings. There's still going to be birthday parties. There's still going to be a night out with the girls. But how can I learn to work through those life events and do it healthfully, mindfully, and safely?
Got it. So I just want to kind of re-talk a little bit about you kind of do the customization. So you had mentioned all the different information out there. So, the paleo diet and the keto diet and this diet and the vegetarian. And what I loved about when I took your workshop was you were like, I eat what I want to eat. I like eating a bagel every day, and I still get the results I want, but I'm doing this, that, and the other thing to, you also do like the really healthy shakes. And so, I just want to make sure everybody understands that you tailor it to anybody's current diet. So if you're a paleo or you're a keto or you're a vegetarian, you can work with that.
Yeah. And I like to know why. I'd like to know their why. Why
Right.
did they, and for some people, and everyone being different, right?
Right.
In my mind, this is how I approach it, is everyone has their own equation. Everyone has different energy needs, calorie needs. Everyone has different carbohydrate, fat, and protein needs. And my job is to figure out what that is
Right.
and create that equation and adjust that equation if needed. And, I said in the workshop, I joked, I'm half Italian. Like, you are not taking pasta or gnocchi away from me.
Yes, I remember the gnocchi. Yes.
My Nana would lose her mind.
Right.
you know. And so, if you know what you need and then you insert the foods that you enjoy, because I'm not going to tell you, Ginger, I want you to eat a half a cup of oatmeal, 3 egg whites, and 15 blueberries if you don't like oatmeal and blueberries, right?
Right.
You're not going to stick to it.
Right.
So we work together to identify the foods that you enjoy.
Right.
And then I help you insert it into that equation and then schedule it around your work schedule, around your family, your life schedule, so that we're getting the fuel that you need in throughout the day, so that you're consuming good sources of carbohydrates, fats, and proteins, getting the energy you need. And then your body's like, oh, yay, I've got what I need. So now when you show up for your workout and you put in all that hard work, your body is going to make fat available for metabolism. And
Right.
things are going to start to shift and things are going to start to change. But what I've experienced and seen is that a lot of people, a lot of women, they are under eating because we were always told if you eat less, you will weigh less. And they're overtraining. They're overdoing it. And there's not a good balance for them. And once we find that balance, then that's when the body will kick in and body composition changes will happen. Things will start showing up that you never knew existed. You'll start losing things that you don't want to exist. And then the even bigger thing for me, you start to feel better.
Right.
You start feeling good.
Very cool.
Feeling
Yeah,
great.
that's what I love, why I wanted you on the show, because I know that you really work with the individual. And I think people get so caught up sometimes in this diet and that diet and this thing and that thing. And they forget about the individual, and that, you grew up with gnocchi and, I grew up with whatever, but you don't want to give up those things that you love. So that's very cool. And then that was another thing I learned in your program that I had never heard before, because I suffer from that of not eating enough. And, you're like, people think that by restricting their calories, they're going to lose weight. And she's like, what you taught us was that actually is the opposite, that your body goes into starvation mode, and the body's going to hold those calories against your will, of course, because it thinks that you're starving it. So, you are such a wealth of knowledge, which leads me into my next question. Could you, in addition to everything you already know and do, you then pursued an additional education in gut health. Why did you add that to your toolbox?
I wanted to go deeper, and I wanted to add that layer, excuse me, because, and it's funny. I always tell people, I will never teach or coach anything that I haven't done myself. And, as I age, and I turned 50 last year, and, I was like, I'm in a constant state of learning. And once I was really digging into the nutrition deeper than I ever have before, because I've always dabbled in it, but I really dug in deep. And I'm personally feeling better, and then I'm helping others feel better. And then I'm always looking for, okay, what's next? What can I do to optimize and level up what I'm already doing personally, and then bring to my clients? And pursuing a gut health specialist education through the Integrative Institute of Nutrition just seemed like the right path to take. And I learned a lot. There were a lot of things that I already knew. But man, I learned a lot that has leveled up my own health. And now being able to share that, and I've gone back to clients that are now sustaining their nutrition on their own, and feeding them the gut health stuff.
Right.
Like, look at, I want you to have this information,
Right.
because it can help elevate what you're doing. And what really hit me, and I shared this in the workshop, was, with your gut microbiome and the processes that it affects. It affects your cognitive, your metabolic, and your immunity. I mean, those are three major processes.
Pretty much everything.
Yeah, I mean, there really isn't much more than that. And so, yeah, that's why I did it. And I'm it's made me a better coach, and it's made me a healthier person. And I remember saying to someone that, you can be doing all the things that you think are good, but until you really get to the root cause of things. And I firmly believe that until we address gut issues, or are mindful of what we're taking in, our food, our water, our environment, through our skin, all of that affects our gut health.
Sure.
Which affects our mind, our ability to do a lot of things that are either going to set us up for greatness down the road, into our later years.
Yes.
Or we're looking at a whole lot of health issues that can be avoided if we are mindful, proactive, and willing to make the adjustments in our daily routine that are going to set us up for a better future. And
absolutely.
So that's.
I think it was you that had said, we were talking about aging, and I'm 52, you're 50, and you were talking about one of the most important things going into getting older is your muscle mass, and how important muscle mass is to the whole body. So I mean, you are a wealth of knowledge. I could sit here and talk with you all day, but we are running out of time. But okay. I will just say right now, before I ask you for your tips, they should be bringing you in to, corporations to speak, because you can really help so many people, and really save companies a lot of money on, hospitalization.
Sick days.
But I mean, you would be great to go in and, speak anywhere, small or large. I highly recommend you bring Barb in. So I did want to ask you a few tips, if you could. I always ask at the end of the show to give us just one sentence on tips for life, work, and wellness.
All right. For life, I feel that life is meant to be lived, and lived to the fullest, and that we were meant to thrive and not just survive. And yeah, that's it. That we should be thriving, not scraping by.
And then for work?
For work, love what you do. I am so passionate. I'm so grateful and blessed that I get to do what I do, and I'm so passionate about it. And that whatever it is, and even if it's not a direct act of service, but what you do, how is it impacting the lives of others in a positive way? Because we need positive impact.
Love it. And then for wellness, I mean, you're all about wellness, but if you can give us one sentence tip for wellness.
If you consistently move, and if you eat mindfully, get good proper rest, and let your body recover, and just have a positive mindset, you're living well.
Love it. Thank you so much. So, I know you can travel. This is going to go national. We're part of the Everyday Women's Network. They're streaming on 19 platforms. So a lot of women hopefully will be watching this. Tell us how they can reach out to you. What's the best way for people to get in contact with you?
Either through my email
Okay.
or my Instagram.
Okay.
Which my email is bamfitforlife@gmail.com.
Okay.
And yeah, my Instagram handle is bamfitforlife.
BamFitForLife. All right.
BamFitForLife
at Gmail, BamFitForLife on Instagram. And thank you so much for being on the show. It's been a pleasure. And I know you have a lot more knowledge to give. I think, I could sense it. Everybody can sense it. There's so much to what you offer. So I encourage everyone to reach out to you. And you can do this telehealth, right? You do.
Yep.
So they don't
on the phone or Zoom. Yep.
So that's great. So anyone, Barb can help anyone anywhere. So thanks again for being on the show, and you have a great day.
Thank you, Ginger.
Bye.
Bye-bye, honey.